Hello everyone, UseFlenja11 here, back again for another purchase video, and today we're going to be taking a look at... What?! Yeah, so, most of the stuff here is, faceless. Well, okay, that's actually kind of a lie. Kevin technically has his face still, but, you know, it's not permanently attached. You'll see what I mean later. Now, technically speaking, this ain't everything we're looking at, but I want to save the best items for last, so they're not in frame at the moment. So, I guess what you kind of see in front of you is a bunch of, spare parts for customs. Nevertheless, let's just get into this. So we're just going to take a look at the items one by one here. We're basically going to fly through, but nevertheless. Anyway, first up we have this Rosie that I recently bought for pretty much $8 on eBay. Now, the reason she's faceless is because the face went towards another custom, so to speak. If you guys kind of want to guess what that is, well, feel free to. But nevertheless, yeah, I kind of just have a spare Rosie now. Not sure what the heck to do with this. I could just turn it into like something else. I've already made the Mark 1 engine, even though I'd like to make a different version. So yeah, this Rosie's kind of useless, but I'm sure I could probably sell it off to someone who desperately needs it. Next, we have the old sage of the Skarloey Railway. Well, Skarloey. But sadly though, this Skarloey does not have a face, or a cab, now that I think about it. Truth be told, I actually did a trade with JD415 to get my hands on this. I traded him an Erdl D261 that I'd bought for, you know, well, the reason I traded him this was because I took the face for another custom, and he just kind of wanted the D261 on its own, which, you know, hey, fine by me, so it was kind of a perfect trade, honestly. Oh yeah, before I forget to mention, he also threw in a Molly face too, that I do still have, but it's currently sitting on the custom it's meant for. But nevertheless, a huge thanks to Jake for sending me these things, and I thought it was a fair trade for the metal diecast D261 from Erdl. Now we come to that TWR Kevin that you guys saw at the beginning. So can I just say that the Wooden Railway Kevin is so weird. This version of Kevin is too squashed, the wheels aren't even the right color, and he's just overall too boxy. Yet the crane arm is pretty good, and the hook ain't half bad either. The Thomas Wood Kevin ain't good either. It's way too tall, and just those wheels, they don't look right. And of course, the TWR Kevin from, you know, 2022 to 2025 doesn't look good either. And not to mention that face. By the way, RIP to Wooden Railway, as it's been cancelled this year. May you rest in peace. Anyway, I think the only really good Kevin that actually exists out there in TWR is the Mattel 2013 to 2016 Kevin. Even then, I still have my problems with that one. It ain't strong enough to hold up larger pieces of cargo, only smaller pieces, and the wheels are unpainted. So yeah, to say I have my problems with a bunch of the TWR Kevins says a lot. In fact, the fact that I used to take and play Kevin says a lot, honestly. Now, you may be wondering, useful, if this Kevin is one of the worst that TWR, or should I say Learning Curve, has ever made, why did I buy it? Well, simple. For this piece of cargo right here, the small brown Sodor Shipping Company cargo piece. So for those who don't know, I actually have the blue one already. I got it around the time I bought some of these miscellaneous pieces of cargo. I kind of just wanted to buy something around this time, so I bought, you know, random pieces of cargo from TWR or different ranges. And I've had my hands on the TWR Lorry 1 flatbeds for quite a while now, so getting to place this cargo piece onto one of the flatbeds was pretty cool. However, I knew there was not just a blue version of this cargo piece, but a brown version too, and I just wanted to get my hands on it. However, it was kind of hard to, you know, come across on its own, and sometimes it came with cargo cars, sometimes it came with many miscellaneous pieces of cargo. Nonetheless, I managed to find this Kevin with this piece of cargo for just a measly $9, and if that doesn't scream a good deal, I don't know what does. So yeah, the only real reason I bought this Kevin was just for this cargo piece. Look, you can judge me later, but look how cute it looks on the little Lorry 1 flatbed, especially next to the blue cargo piece. I mean, come on. Makes me want to get more Lorry 1 flatbeds so that I can buy all the smaller pieces of crates that fit on these flatbeds. I think that'd make for a nice train, especially to see a narrow gauge engine pull in my opinion. But yeah, I guess I'll just keep this Kevin around for spare parts, honestly. I mean, I'm sure the wheels could come in handy one day. The magnets could also be of help, and I've already chopped the face off this Kevin, because you never know, I could use it for a future custom one day. We'll just have to wait and see. So that was basically all the spare parts stuff in this video. But now, let's get into the pieces of resistance with these. First up, we have the Sodor Railway Repair. If you remember one of the more later purchase videos that I've made recently, the last character I had officially gotten was D199, and he was definitely a character on my list for a while. But while I had wanted D199, after I got him, my mind immediately shifted to, I need to get the Sodor Railway Repair. I need to get him. I need to get him. Of course, fast forward a few months later, and I finally have him. Of course, you have to be careful when you buy the Sodor Railway Repair, because, well, first off, you could either buy them in parts, which takes you a little bit longer, or you can buy them all in one go, which kind of takes up a little bit more of your money. And you also got to be careful that you make sure he has his back piece, because if you buy him without, his back piece, then you're going to have to look for the item individually, which could take you quite a long time, or you'll have to buy another Sodor Railway Repair, and now you're kind of left with two. Now, don't get me wrong, I'd be okay with having two of his conveyor belt cars or ballast cars, but you genuinely don't need two Sodor Railway Repairs, unless if you want him from different years. Speaking of years, I looked under the wheels a couple weeks ago, and this version is from 1999. I can also tell because there's literally no name printed on the bottom or any of the other cars, which gets annoying when I try to couple this car up to the Sodor Railway Repair, and it just doesn't want to couple, only for me to switch around like, oh, I had it backwards. I am so happy to have this item though, and I think this might be the last engine character I'm going to collect for a while. In terms of other engines, I'm always going to be making customs, but in terms of official merchandise, the only other character I really want or need is Sam, and I'm still debating whether if I want to make a custom of him or not. And then after him, the only other characters I really need, I guess, are the logging locos, but there's kind of a stigma there, as I genuinely don't need them right now, so I don't have plans to get them. Though I do want to get my hands on the Mattel models when I get the chance. And finally, here we have one of the items that, so if you guys saw my recent update video, you guys will know that I got myself a job. Now, I think it's safe to say, while I will be using my paychecks to buy TWR items for myself and, kind of build up my collection even more, I definitely got to be careful of what I buy and when I can buy it. However, when I got my first paycheck, I had to buy this. Here, we have the Bandai Diesel 10. I am so happy to have this. It's been a collector's item on my list for so long now. Obviously, a lot of people want this item, but when you find it on eBay, either the claw is just broken, or you want to buy the one that's in great condition, but it costs over $100. Thankfully, I bought mine for not that much. It was over $100, but it was I think it was $122, something like that. I did pay a little bit for it, but nevertheless, I was happy to get my hands on it. However, I do want to consider getting my hands on another one, because I have realized that this one has a little bit of an issue, mainly where the joints and that it pivots up and down. Yeah, those are looking not so good, and of course, I wouldn't have been able to know, when I looked at the listing, because they don't really give you that close look, sadly. So my goal is to buy another one, but since this first one already took a little bit of my money from my first ever paycheck, I think I might have to wait until I get my hands on a little bit more money for that. And then maybe what I'll do is give it to this version of the Bandai Diesel 10 to someone who wants it, maybe one of my closer friends online, but nevertheless, very happy to have this item. So I will admit, this purchase video has been quite long, but I will admit, I haven't done any freestyle recording in quite a while now, actually, so kind of glad to get back into the swing of things with this video, so to speak. Anyways, guys, hope you all enjoyed this purchase video. Useful Engine 11 signing out. Take care, everyone, and I'll see you all next time.